Hi, welcome, welcome. Happy WikiTree Day to everybody. This is an official WikiTree bingo going on. My name is Sandy, and I typically host bingo here on WikiTree. Thank you to everybody that has joined us today. This is a busy day around the globe, I know, and I appreciate you guys being here. And I just want to, before we go any further, I know that there's some people that are here that I can't see. And we were talking about it in the WikiTree week Discord. So if I can't see you, I'm gonna go ahead and do a little shout out to everybody that I can see that's here. If I don't call your name in the next, 10 seconds or so, it means I can't see you, but we're working on it. We're working on it. We've got people behind the scenes. Usually I don't do a shout out. We get right into bingo. But today, because we're having technical difficulties a little bit, I'm going to do a shout out to everybody and thank you guys for being here. So I do see Anne and Karen and Nancy and Rivanda and Lisa and Susie and Tommy and Doris and John. I got 2 Johns, John Vasky and John Tyner, and let me pause real quick. John Vasky, thank you so much for sharing your ancestor. John shared a wonderful profile of his ancestor for Monday's Ancestor Appreciation Day, and John, as you know, I love working on coal miners, and sharing your grandpa was really special to me, so thank you for doing that. And John Tyner, who normally I call Irish John. But this week, I am calling him Scottish John. Why am I doing that? Speaking of coal miners, if you guys did not happen to see the Bonding Over Branches symposium presentation, Mr. Tyner joined me as we were working on coal miners. And the coal miner he was working on was kind of highlighted because he unfortunately passed away in a mine explosion, but he wrote a letter to his wife and as he was pretty much dying, and John researched that particular Scottish gentleman, and John told me early this morning that he is now connected to the tree. So if you haven't seen Bonded Over Branches, definitely check it out. It was fantastic. We had Aaron from Appalachia. We had John. I'm going to say, John, you're from Scotland, even though really you're Irish, John. And we had Emma from USBH and Chris from Italy, and it was just really fantastic. And the Germans sent in a little bit of note from the Germany project, so it was really great program. Okay, and I see Darren as well, and Joku, I see Chris, I see Crystal, hi. Veg Beauty, thank you for some wonderful laughs last night at Midnight Madness. Really, really appreciated it. Hi, Paula. Paula's in the same state I am, and it's a rainy, overcast day for us, so we're going to stay inside and do WikiTree Day. And hi, Gail, and hi, Eric. How are you guys doing? And Swin. Hi, Swin. Swin from Europe. Thank you for the lovely comment that you gave us over on YouTube as well. We have Flo from the Black Forest, and we have Donna from East Coast Canada. So you're kind of on my side of the globe too, Donna. So welcome everybody. If you have not played bingo before, let me go ahead and give you the first bingo card. And what you're going to do is bring this up on a separate tab, a separate screen. If you have it 2 monitors, or bring it up on your phone while you look at what's going on here on the screen for the words. And we are going to do a special bingo. We're going to do 2 bingo cards this hour, and it's going to be all about WikiTree. I don't have a guest for this one. It's just going to be talking about WikiTree, and I would love to know what you guys are working on. What was your favorite activity so far, or what are you looking forward to? Because this is our very first WikiTree week. We have so much stuff packed in here that we couldn't put it all in one day. I just want to take a short pause and let you know that for WikiTree Week, every day, Monday through, I believe, Friday, Monday through Friday, there will be around this time frame a live cast going on. It's different. It's a different theme every day. And then every night there is a Zoom cubicle party. Just jump in. Just jump into the Zoom cubicle party and meet a global WikiTreeer and have fun and talk about what you're doing. Different activities every day. Share what you've got. Share your ancestor and have fun with it. So let's go ahead and give you a little bit of information. Let me share my screen before I do that and talk about WikiTree Day. There we go. So this is WikiTree Day. We're 16 years old. Can you guys believe it? So what I'm going to ask everybody right off the bat, when did you join? What year? What year did you join WikiTree? And let's see who is the longest member that we got here in bingo. I'm 2016. So who's going to beat me? Who is here before 2016? And as you guys do that, I'm just going to drop in some of the activities. This is really cool. See you guys. So 2014, Lisa's got it so far. 2023. I know that a lot of you probably were similar to me, joined either right before the pandemic or right around the pandemic. And Chris, if you go to your profile page, you can usually find out that way. I will say too, I will add in a little fun tip. You guys know this already though. Mags was my greeter. So when I joined, Mags was the very first one to say hello to me. And for you guys that don't know what that means or what that is, WikiTree has greeters. So every single time somebody joins, whether they stay for 5 minutes or 20 years, every single time there is a greeter there to say, hi, how are you? And if that is something that you think you would like to do, if you want to make sure that WikiTree becomes even more powerful for more members, and you like talking to people, definitely reach out to the Greeters Project. They would love to have you. It's 1 hour a week, just 1 hour a week is all you have to volunteer. And it's a special hour because you get to meet the new WikiTreeers and you get to see who they are and welcome them. How many times, like I said, how many times have you gone to a restaurant and it says, please wait to be seated? And if you wait to be seated, it takes forever to be seated and you're getting frustrated. Well, think about that. How nice is it to be greeted instantly and feel welcome and feel like you're want to be, we want you to be here. That's what greeters do for WikiTree, and they're awesome. Lisa, I think you might be the winner here for the one that's been. Oh, wait, no. Wait. Darren, 2012. Darren, are you the longest member here? I think so. Looking through everything. Darren, you win. And Darren's on the other side of the globe from me. Oh, wait. And I just have to point this out because we were having technical problems. Hi, Amanda. We see you. That's so awesome. For some reason, some comments weren't showing. And thank you, John, for mentioning it. Oh, Paula. Paula is from 2011. And I'll tell you, I met Paula online through WikiTree, through the Cemetery Project. Another one that is very worthy. This is great. Okay, so I think we've got everybody here. Let me go ahead and drop the bingo card one more time in the chat. And I think we should just go ahead and get started with a bingo card. Let me bring this up. And I will also go over the rules that we have. This is great. I mean, we were trying to get Amanda in, and apparently through the symposium and some of these WikiTree LiveCasts, some comments weren't seen by some people. I don't know how it happened, but definitely make sure that you join the WikiTree Week Discord channel. And I will show you the link for that in a minute, because that's how we're keeping up with activities as well. Oh, and this is great. So Nancy met me through Pam, who was a trainer for greeting. So again, it all begins with greeting. And I'm really truly, if you could just spare 1 hour a week, that's all we're asking. 1 hour a week to be a greeter, that would be so awesome. Because people take vacations. Sometimes we don't WikiTree, we take vacations. So it's kind of amazing as well. Okay. Let's go ahead and get started for bingo, and I'll give you the rules right off the bat for those of you that have not played. I do not have the rules. I don't have my normal rules thing. So let me tell you what the rules are. If you've won in the past 6 months, You are not eligible to win until that 6-month period has passed. If you're curious if your time has passed, if your name is on this particular list, that means that you're not eligible. That is, you're still within that 6-month period. That includes family members living at the same house. So if a family member played, because you can also invite family members and friends and neighbors to play bingo. We accept everybody because we love bingo. And the other thing is, for bingo, you can get it horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. And the free space in the middle, go ahead and click that now. I think the first one is a globe. So go ahead and click that with your mouse. If you accidentally click something that you didn't mean to, just click it again and it will unclick that option. If you do win bingo, make sure that you let me know, because as you know, I do tend to talk too much. So definitely feel free to yell at me, bingo, bingo, bingo. 5 of you might win bingo at the same time, but it's whoever is the fastest that types it in the chat wins the bingo prize. And the bingo prize is typically a mug. There's a few other options, but the mugs are the most popular. And it's not just a bingo mug. If you're on a Thon team, there are Thon team mugs. There are what we call the mutt mugs up there that are really cute, a genealogy mutt. And Flo, I really wish Carol was here, because this tends to be the time that Flo says bingo, 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 and Carol tells me that you've won, that we got a winner before we started. So, okay, let's go ahead and get going and have some fun with this. This is all WikiTree based. So, honor code. Chances are everybody knows what the honor code is. You have to sign the honor code to continue adding your ancestors to WikiTree. And I do love this bungo, 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 like that. I know, Darren. Flo always says it right at the very beginning, and Carol always, I think, looks backwards and says, "Oh no, we have a winner." And the Connectathon, I just want to let everybody know that the Connectathon, the next one, the date has been released, and it will be in January. If you go to the top of G, Eowyn has made sure that keep it tagged and pinned at the top the entire Thon and Challenge schedule for next year. So plan your vacations around your Thons. And WikiTree, this is why we're here. WikiTree is celebrating its 16th anniversary. And ancestors who participated in the Ancestor Day yesterday. I had a lot of fun with the Ancestor Day, and I showed off a couple of my ancestors as well. It's Ancestor Appreciation Day. And I know John did, because we talked about John Vasky's grandpa being a coal miner. Okay, and let's see. So Sam, do you just need a line to win? So you can get horizontally, vertically, or diagonally, but you just need to make sure to yell it to me in bingo, because I don't know if you won or not until you yell at me. Speaking of courtesy, feel free to yell at me. I won't get upset. I won't think you're discourteous. Feel free to do it in bingo. And newt. What is a newt? That is what we call new to WikiTree. So if you see a Thon team called newt, or if you see somebody refer to the term newt, that means that they are new to WikiTree. Give them a little patience. You know, sometimes learning wiki code is a challenge. Sometimes understanding sources. You would be amazed how many people that are new to WikiTree have no idea what Sorcerer is. So maybe that would be a good time to show them, hey, you should try use Sorcerer. And collaboration. WikiTree is all about collaboration. So sometimes it's a little tricky for collaboration. Sometimes people come to WikiTree and they're new and they're like, but this is my tree, this is my family. But that's the thing with the global community. We're sharing all our families up here on WikiTree. It gives us an opportunity to share more information about them, more details. And the more you collaborate, the more you might find a cousin that comes in and maybe has a photo that you never had before. and biscuits. You knew I was gonna throw something in that had something to do with me. So if you, are new, especially to WikiTree, and you go to a live cast and you see things that say biscuits around, you can blame me. That was completely my fault. When I started the Appalachia Project, biscuits, we all know biscuits, and when you join Appalachia Project, we usually have 1 or 2 greeters in our project that shows this wonderful, lovely, hot, fresh buttered biscuit sign. So biscuits is how we recognize each other, and just it's nothing more than saying hello. I agree. I would agree, Kathy. That is sad. And I agree. And Eric is one of our Appalachian um speakeasy password things, and everybody knows. So usually we'll just say biscuits and you're there. And I can tell you that there are biscuits waiting for me now, fresh out of the oven. And no, I cannot believe you don't have biscuits on your card. What is going on here? The Appalachians have no biscuits. And fan chart. How many of you use fan chart? I use fan chart almost every day. As soon as I get on WikiTree, I kind of look to see what ancestors I need to work on today, especially for ancestor appreciation. And G to G. Lots of good information on G to G. What I want to encourage everybody, if you ever post on G to G, there's something at the bottom of your post before you kind of submit it that says tags. Make sure that you enter tags. And since I've got a couple Germans in here, I'm going to use you guys as a great example. So let's say that I'm looking for my German brick wall ancestor. If I go to G and I say, can I get help on this particular profile, and link the profile and hit enter, it kind of gets lost in G to G. But if I add tags such as research help, Germany, maybe the last name of my ancestor, maybe where their location is as well, I might be a little bit more specific. Maybe they were in the US and Germany. But if you do research help and Germany and maybe their last name at the very minimum for tags, anytime you have a question for something like that on G to G, it'll get seen very quickly by project members and they'll answer. Okay, in challenges. So we kind of talked about that. We have the Thon challenges, and we kind of have some challenges going on for WikiTree Week as well, because every time that you participate in one of the daily activities going on, you're eligible for a door prize this week. And Forest Elf is usually my co-host, and she is swamped. It's WikiTree Day, and that would be Eowyn. And I agree. I love fan chart. I just really love fan chart. And we have a bingo. And we have a bingo, bingo, bingo. Congratulations, Eric. So, Eric, what you're going to do is you're going to reach out to, let me get this up. You're going to reach out to Eowyn and you're going to tell her that you won the WikiTree bingo, and she's going to give you all the information. Basically, it's the store. She's going to give you the information though on what prizes and what the value is that you can pick from. But I'll give you the link to the store as well. So, congratulations. And did you have Eric, did you have biscuits on your card? I don't even know if you had biscuits on your card. Okay, let me show you guys one other thing real quick. Who's doing the heritage hunt? This is what I am fascinated by this week. Who is doing the heritage hunt on WikiTree this week? It's fairly easy, I think. I think there's only one tricky thing that I need to do. Yes, I love that. He had biscuits. So for the heritage hunt, what you need to do is find 10 of the 15 items that are listed here, range them all together. So this is going to be really interesting to range them all together in an interesting way as well, and take a photo and then send it to Eowyn. I am fascinated by this because I love seeing everybody's photos. If I am in, for example, Paul and I are both in Georgia, but I guarantee you, if Paul and I had uh, photos, our photos would be drastically different because our ancestors could come from different places and we might have different items. So I really, really love this ancestor hunt, and I want to see your all's photos. I really, really do. And I just dropped the bingo card number 2 in. So, Anne, you've got 3 out of 4 yes. What's that mean? And you only need 10. You only need 10. Everybody thought that you needed everything on the list. You only need 10. And if you're lucky where you still have some ancestors still living, like parents or grandparents, this is a great opportunity, for example, to tell them to write down a handwritten recipe. And I will tell you what I did. So my son loves to cook. He cooks the weirdest things. He's like me, a little this, a little that. We don't really go by recipes. And I had him write down a recipe for me that he makes. It's very spicy, so I don't know if I'll eat it, but I had him write down the recipe, and I thought that was so cool to have something. We think about our ancestors so much, but I'm thinking about my descendants at this point. So I have a handwritten recipe that he did for me yesterday. So that would be kind of cool. And if the holiday cards, it could be any type of card as well. Sometimes you can find it on Ancestry. Another person that is related to you might have a postcard or a greeting card or a letter or anything like that. So really definitely think out of the box. And I agree with Darren. Darren and I were kind of talking about this last night at Midnight Madness. I can probably do 9 just having a quick look, and then the others might be a little bit tricky. And when we talk about jewelry too, I have my grandmother loved, oh my gosh, she loved junk jewelry. Like the big plastic earrings and the plastic pearl looking pearl things and things like that. So it doesn't have to be fancy jewelry. It can be anything that was passed down. I was lucky enough to get my grandmother's wedding rings from her first marriage. So, and she personally handed it to me in a little box with a little note for my sweet 16th birthday. So I thought that was kind of special as well. So it can be anything. It could even be something from your own parent. Maybe they handed down something to you. My mom in the day, who remembers, ladies? You remember you had those little beads that you twisted into a necklace? That's jewelry. My mom has drawers of those. She has so many of those. So definitely think about, and now I want to say too, for those of you that are stuck on an item, the something with WikiTree logo on it. So maybe you don't own a mug. Maybe you don't own a WikiTree t-shirt. Draw it. Have fun with it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Draw it, or maybe print it out from a printer and put it on one of those. If you're like me, we have craft supplies all over the house. Those little thin boards that you paint on, those little square ones. Maybe just print it out on a piece of paper and glue it there. It can be anything. You know, if you have a big garage or a big barn, maybe you know go ahead and paint the WikiTree logo there on, so your homeowners association knows that you're a WikiTreeer and they can come after you. Stuff like that. This is really cool. So, family heirloom is a family Bible going through 5 generations. And I love this because it's handwritten, probably in different generations. That's really cool. And this is a great idea. Made a photo of the logo from the computer. Definitely get creative and think about what you have. This is awesome. Paula also, an aunt's nursing pin and brooch they have. I mean, that's really, really, that's really cool. And Paula, thank you. Just made me realize I have my dad's police badge, in a box, so that I keep in a kind of showcase box. I also have my grandparents' home after they moved, years and years, decades after they moved, was eventually torn down because nobody was living in it, the people who bought it after them. But my husband and I were back in West Virginia one day, and we kind of there were no trespassing signs, so we thought we could walk around the property, and we maybe had some tools, and we maybe, took the doorknob, something like that I could show. So definitely get creative. I love and if you do have the Bibles, definitely document that on profiles. WikiTree has an example citation. Just do a search and say Bible citation for profiles, and you'll see what you have. Now, Amanda, this is really tough because you said your grandfather destroyed most of what your grandmother kept after she died. And I know that this is something um, that happens because sometimes our ancestors think nobody's going to want this stuff. It's just stuff, and nobody's going to want it. And hopefully, we will teach our descendants a little differently on how to take care of our stuff, or maybe what my grandmother did. She had little piece of that masking tape, that kind of whitish yellow tape, and she hand wrote on the back of a lot of her knickknacks and items the first name of who she wanted her items to go to after she died, which made it very, very easy for her second husband. And there were no fights over anything because my grandmother had a lot of children and a bazillion grandchildren. So that kind of made it a little bit easy for him. And I am so sorry to hear this. I really, not only am I sorry to hear this because it was a hurricane named after me, but I can appreciate this. My father-in-law was living in New Jersey when this came up, and they had a lot of things destroyed as well. Yeah, and it's a maybe, Doug. It's a maybe took the doorknob. It's I'm not sure. It may be, in a shadow box hanging on my wall, but I'll have to double check that after this. And I love your guys' stories of what you have. And you have your great grandmother's photo album. I mean, to have your grandmother's photo album is like huge, but to have your great grandmother's photo album is really, really big. Okay, so you guys, I am really expecting you guys to show me some awesome photos with this ancestor hunt. They can be really amazing. And Lisa, let me see what you got. Does ancestor have to be direct line? I don't think it has to be direct line. I think it could be extended family. I can tell you that I have a great uncle that I truly, truly loved. He was funny as can be. And I would definitely use something of his if I had it. So I don't think an ancestor to me is an ancestor that's related to you, whether you were adopted, whether you is blood related, whether it was by marriage. An ancestor is an ancestor, and I agree. Just a picture from your computer screen with the WikiTree logo. This might be the winner because if you live in an area where you could do a field circle. That's really popular around here. Do a maze, a WikiTree logo maze, corn maze. So that's pretty cool. Okay, anybody else have some things? Um, and this is fantastic. This is really great. Thank you for sharing this, Amanda. Thank you for telling us. So, he was adopted and didn't have anything of his own, but my aunt and I knew where she stashed stuff. So, a couple of letters from her brothers and letters that could be one of your heritage hunt items. That would be really, really that would be really fascinating to see these letters. If also you read, I'm going to mention this. If you have not read, excuse me, if you watch the copyright and plagiarism symposium presentation, it did go a little long, but it's worth hanging in there and watching the entire presentation. Drew gave us excellent advice and information. So, for example, I go to antique stores and I buy old postcards. And then I will try and research who sent them and who they sent them to. I don't own that copyright. So if there's not a copyright on that particular postcard, which most of mine aren't because they are very, very, very old, and but it's the people. So if I research those people and I have in their handwriting and I have a little space page I put up on WikiTree, I hope somebody will see it that's a descendant and will look and want it because I would gladly mail them the postcard if they wanted it. But we were talking, Eowyn asked in particular about letters from soldiers, and you can buy those up on eBay. And we don't technically own the copyright on those, but if they're old enough, we can use them. So that was really interesting as well. Okay, let's go to the second bingo card. And as I go through that, let me bring up my screen one more time. I've got one thing to look at that I want to share with you guys as well. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. Okay. I'm going to drop in here as in the chat the link to when do you think we will get the 40th million profile, since we're talking about collaboration. When do you think we'll get the 40th million profile? And if you have your bingo card up, you should have a sweet 16 in the middle of it. Go ahead and click that now for me. And same rules apply for bingo if you won in the past 6 months on anything with WikiTree, and that includes the thons or the challenges. You're not eligible to win until 6 months has passed by. If your family member in your same home has won, you're not eligible to win as well. So December 10th, that's interesting. December 10th. I was wondering, it's definitely this year, and I definitely think it's December that we'll hit the 40 million. And there you go. Thank you, Darren, for updating us. So 39,885. So what do we need? Just a really good day of or weekend of Connectathon before the end of the year. But I think it will definitely be in December too, Amanda. Okay. So again, for bingo, if you won in the past 6 months anywhere on WikiTree, you're not eligible because we're trying to share the fun and make sure everybody is eligible for a prize that and has an opportunity. And vertically, diagonally, or horizontally for the win. You don't need all three, and you don't need to fill the cards. You just need to get one of those. The first person who yells bingo at me in the chat is actually the winner. So this is funny. So we went up 8 in just a few seconds. That's funny. Thanks, Darren. And here we go. If you're ready to go, here we go. Remember, yell bingo, bingo, bingo at me. So this card is all about what's happening this week. So we've got genealogy trivia later on today with Azure, and Meet My Ancestor. That was yesterday. And again, I'm going to give a shout out to John Baskey. It definitely check out the Meet My Ancestor post. It was fantastic. I loved reading everybody's ancestors. Some of them were so courageous and had such great stories. If you want a list for the entire week's activities, there's the WikiTree week schedule, and on there is Meet My Ancestor G2G link. And leave your own ancestor so I can go back up there and read it. And the Scanathon. The Scanathon was last night. Who did the Scanathon? Unfortunately, I was not at a computer, so I couldn't do the Scanathon. Who did the Scanathon? And then while you guys answer that, was hoping they could create a countdown deal on the list of winners so they can see when they win next. I'll have to suggest that. It's a shame Ian is not in the house. I do know there's another programmer in the house. Maybe somebody from the Black Forest that's a programmer might code something like that, because that would be cool. There we go. So we had a couple people that did the Scanathon. I have a bazillion tombstone photos I need to get up there, so I'll be a little delayed on my scanning. And WikiTree merch, there is a special going on to buy WikiTree merchandise. It's at a discount. So if you do not win here, you can still get your WikiTree merchandise at a discount. And if you win bingo, let me bring this up for you guys. If you win bingo, this is the store. And this is where you'll pick your mug from as well. Okay, and word search. Word search is coming up later on today. This is fun. This is just fun stuff. We're not going to go into details, but this could be a tough day for a lot of people. So let's have some fun and let's stay off other weird places that are contentious and let's hang out on WikiTree and have some fun today. And the heritage hunts, which we talked about, and WikiTree Week Discord. This is really, really important because this is how I found out that Amanda's posts weren't showing in YouTube because she had been typing comments and we didn't know she was typing comments and she didn't know that we weren't seeing them. So, are you a part of the WikiTree Week Discord? And it's in the link that I posted up above for WikiTree Week. And yes, I had said that at the beginning, that Sweet 16, go ahead and click that. So if you're not on the WikiTree Week Discord, come join us. It's fun. We're chatting away about the different activities. A family photo. Who has recreated a family photo, an ancestor photo? That's going on all week as well. We have a few. I can't do it. I'm not in the location that I could actually do it. So I love looking at those too. And we talked about the 40 million guests. If Darren, if you could update us, that would be fantastic. I'm curious to see how many we've added in just a few moments. And you remember I mentioned greeters? So guess what? If you join WikiTree, if you're a new person joining WikiTree, that counts as a new profile. So these greeters are right now during WikiTree Day greeting people as we go on. I can't believe nobody has bingo yet. Okay, this is show and tell date night. This is one of my favorites that I came up with. Let me see if I can bring this up real quick. This is coming up on, I believe, tomorrow or Thursday. Don't hold me to it. But this is, if you have a photo, for example, of your parents, maybe that went out on a date, or your grandparents, or maybe even your brother or your sister or anything like that. Let me see if I can bring this up really quick. I've got this fantastic photo that I wanted to show why. Let's see. There it is. Okay. Give me 1 second, guys. I've got this fantastic date night photo, and this is kind of where I came up with the idea. Isn't this fantastic? So, in my mind, I know this is in New York. So, in my mind, this is the Rainbow Room in New York City, and it is actually my sister in law's family. But isn't that cool? So, what we're doing for the bingo is we are showing and telling about date night. So if you've got a couple family members, or I would love to see parents. I got to go dig. I've got one that I know of that I got to go find for my parents that were on a date night. And there we go. So we keep going up. So I think I might have to change, Darren. I might have to say November instead of December. Okay, and speaking of date night, dating, and this is genealogy style. This is not actual dating with an app. This is dating style. If you were a part of the WikiTree games, we had dating, data profile. And there's several. I don't know why, but I think a lot of them are JEDCOMs. We put up. We put up profiles that do not have dates because maybe we're not sure, so we decide not to put them up. But definitely, if you have a good idea and you have a good suspicion and you can back it up with some theories, some research notes, and maybe some sources, definitely put dates and locations in. You can always put approximate and click doesn't have to be exact. There are radio buttons that you can pick. So John got it in right before Amanda did. So congratulations, John. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to come to email Eowyn, and she's going to let you know what you can pick from. I can't remember the dollar amount, so I'm not gonna quote it, but she'll give you the dollar amount. Just tell her that you won the WikiTree bingo, WikiTree Day bingo, and she will get you all hooked up with the store. So that's, and I gotta do another shout out with John. John's Greeter. John. So if you join Greeters, you are gonna know John quite well because he's gonna train you. Okay, let me do one last thing real quick as I come over here. Well, actually, I'll do two things real quick. So here, the WikiTree week schedule. So everything I've mentioned is here, and a lot more that I did not mention is here. And I'll give you a little secret. I know the person who designed the logo for that global mug, and in that global mug has, if you look very closely, David Randall, who's the PL of the global project, it has his spirit animal on the global mug. And I don't know, Darren. I don't know. You're convincing me that I might have to change my answer to November. There's a WikiTree week schedule. Now, the last thing that I'm going to mention, and I'll let you guys go and enjoy the rest of the WikiTree Day activities. This is my really true love of this week. This is something I worked on for quite a long time, for months, and this is also something that I know several members in our chat have been working on. If you have a brick wall in a few of the countries, so, or locations, so we have Jewish roots, we have Eastern Europe with a lot of countries listed there. We also have Germany, England, New Zealand. Darren is helping out with the New Zealand Research Party. We have so many different the Nordic project. I mean, so many countries have come together for the Nordic project. These are all WikiTreeers that come together for research parties, and they're going to do two things. If you drop a link on G2G, and it just go to the link I just posted, then you will see their G2G links, and drop the profile of your brick wall ancestor that you need help with, and they will look at it. It's first come, first serve. So do it quickly because time is running out. The research parties will be this Saturday. They will be 2 hours long. The schedule's on that link. So that's the first thing that they're going to help you with, is try and help you break your brick wall. And our first winner, Eric Weddington, I think Germany broke his wife's brick wall and added 4 ancestors in addition. So I mean, that's pretty huge. If you've been living with a brick wall for decades, not only did they break it, but they extended her line back as well. The second thing that they're going to do is definitely watch the research party for the particular location that you're interested in, because they're going to show you how to research in that location so you can do it yourself as well. Very valuable. I mean, this is amazing. WikiTree is the only one out there that does something like this. So definitely watch. It's a fun day. It'll be Saturday, and it's a lot of fun. And I got to tell you, Anne, it is not a bug. And I'll let you ask David Randall. His spirit animal is not a bug. And thanks, Flo. I will mention this too. And if you want to help with adding 40 million profiles, consider Elaine, who we all know and love. Elaine is just awesome. She's a PL with the USBH, and she's also a PL of the Jewish Roots project. She has a very, very, very special initiative going on with Auschwitz, and she's trying to get every person that went through Auschwitz, and whether they survived or not, she's trying to get everyone in on WikiTree because there's a big anniversary next year. She could really use your help. And I will tell you that as somebody who has never researched in this area, has never really researched heavily in Jewish records, or even German records or Polish records or wherever it may be, Italian records, I can tell you that between Elaine and Flo, they have made it very, very easy for you to jump in and participate. Even if you add 10 profiles, that would be so special. This would be a really awesome way to recognize these people who are right now unknown. And we can do that. That's what WikiTree does. That's the power of WikiTree. We can do that. We can recognize these people and remember them. So definitely reach out to Elaine. Feel free to reach out to me. I have been doing Italian and I know no Italian, and it's been something very rewarding and very easy. But I will admit as well that Flow created this kind of mini sourcing program for everybody to use. So it's just amazing. And I just think that for WikiTree, it's important that we tell our ancestors' stories, because if we don't do it, nobody else will. But what about those ancestors? What about those people who do not have descendants left because they're no longer here and by no fault of their own? And that's kind of what the Auschwitz initiative is as well. Let's do this. Let's tell their stories. Let's make sure that they are known that they were here on this earth. And that kind of goes hand in hand with the USBH as well. Let's tell these stories. It's up to us. We can do this as a community, as a WikiTree community. So let me point out that from Elaine. Thanks, Elaine. I'm glad you're here. That B does make it so easy to add profiles. And I can't tell you how much the statement is true for both points. It is easy to add them and make sure that they're recognized and tag them properly. And Ian and Flo jumped on this. When this came out earlier this year, Ian and Flo jumped on this. This was something that was important to them, and they made it happen. So it's really, really great. Definitely. And thank you, Lisa, for mentioning this. And I agree, so many records. And what I do for the Italians, it actually translates to English so I can read it and put it in the sourcing that WikiTree B has. So you'll definitely want WikiTree B. So thank you also, Lisa, for participating. And the Italian project helped me with my fourth great grandfather. They're awesome as well. They broke a brick wall for us with a coal miner. So a lot of good things going on this week. Definitely jump in, and please let me see your Heritage Hunch photos. The next time you'll see me will probably be bingo on Friday. The first winner, Eric Whittington, he's going to join me for Freemasonry. Have you ever wanted to know about Freemasonry? Is it a secret society or not? Join me Friday at noon Eastern time for bingo, and then join me later on Friday that night with Mr. Randall, David Randall, as we talk historical notables. What's in a name? How many of you know how Stromboli became a thing? Look it up. We'll see you Friday. Bye, guys.